Warning, if you're faint of heart or easily offended, this show is not for you.
I don't give a damn about what you saying, bitch, you in the way. Closed case, my nigga beat the charges like yesterday. In your face, I'ma go hard and make sure you see the cake. Keep the pace, ain't no one fucking with me, this not a race. Doing the shit that I want, I'm never gonna stop, I'm never gonna give in. Making my way to the top, I told you to ride, I told you to get in. Now you can't eat out my pot, it's filled to the top, and I'm about to dig in. You say I was doing you wrong.
Welcome to the Go Rogue Podcast. I'm Roger Stout, and this is Dina Stout. And let me see. We'll get the comments. Okay, we got 13 people watching currently. We didn't plan anything for the show, did we? We were just like, forgot to reach out. Hannah said, "Now, sure, Hannah. Yeah, now it's good.
Now, Hannah.
Or what time?" She said. Hold on, let's get her on here too. So, Dina Marie,
Yes,
are you ready for Jacksonville?
been ready.
Really?
Yes.
Been ready.
I love Jacksonville show.
Cool.
Jacksonville's where it all came together for 7. Actually, Jacksonville will always be one of my favorite shows. Most people don't know, but it was the very first show we ever attended. We actually went without a dog. And after that show, it was addiction.
Yeah.
Addiction. Like everything about that show is just so well put together. The crowd, the dog, the atmosphere. It just everything about that show is just pure energy.
What's up, Greg? What's up, Jack? Jack, you not going? Looks like Jack might not be going. I wonder if he's got puppies. Yeah, for sure. Actually, that's where I met CF Chino for the first time. Was out there. We were on our way to the vending truck. There's Tone checking in, but
it's one of those shows that the second you walk through the door, everything has been touched. I mean, everything. Just everything is just so well put together with that show. It runs smoothly. You can tell the host puts everything into that one show.
now let me ask you something, because this was the original idea. Is we were going to talk about, because I had people messaging me and were like, "Hey, I've never come to a show before, and I'm going to come to this show." And I thought, I remember the first time we went to a show, and I know now the amount of stuff that we take with us now compared to the first show.
Right.
And that really made me wonder, we were really ill prepared. So for somebody that's coming to a show for the first time, what are some of the things that they need to bring with them? Absolutely need to. Now, I'm not saying Jacksonville, they're pretty accommodating. They have a bunch of stuff.
Well, actually, to any show, you should set up a bag of things that just to take with you. And you should take this to every show. First and foremost, you need to take a kennel for your dog. It's a long day. It's a lot of people. And number one, your dog's out of its atmosphere. So it could be the nicest dog in the world, but it's still going to be uncomfortable. So give your dog a place to go and just be comfortable. A place to rest. And I know everybody wants to show their dogs. They want to walk their dog around and around. But number one, that's not good for the dog. It's just not good for the dog. Every dog needs resting. So give your dog a safe place to rest.
Right.
Number 2, bring your dog a fan. Because while they're in there resting, not saying that it's a hot venue or it's a cold venue, but a little bit of air circulating on your dog always just helps to maintain the dog's coolness.
Right. And that's why I had mentioned not necessarily Jacksonville, because your kit is kind of the same regardless of what show it is.
Yes.
But depending on the show,
keep it put together.
What comes out of the van, right?
Right. Another thing that you need to take is take a container to hold water. That way you're not running back and forth trying to fill up your water bowl. Another thing that I highly recommend is just keeping your water bowl up. You don't want a bunch of dogs drinking out of your water bowl. So either keep your water bowl in the kennel with your dog, or if your dog's not drinking out of its own water bowl, keep that water bowl up, because it's just second nature, just like a kid having a toy. Another dog can drink out of your dog's water. Not saying that that's not acceptable, but it's just not a good idea.
Right. And
Um,
all times of year, it's probably a good idea to just keep your dog away from other people's dogs.
yeah,
Don't let 'em
don't
get-
let your dog run up and nose to nose, even though your dog might get along with every dog in your yard. Don't run up to someone else's dog nose to nose, because that's going to put any dog in a defense.
Right.
It puts number one, it puts a person, in an uncomfortable situation, and you're putting that dog in an uncomfortable situation, which is, not advisable.
Plus, as much as we'd like to say everyone's responsible, unfortunately, people bring sick dogs to shows.
It happens. It happens. I would like to think that, it's not intentional, but it happens regardless. It happens. Definitely always want to have poop bags, because if your dog has an accident, whether your dog is using the bathroom outside or has an accident inside, again, your dog might be completely house trained, but in an uncomfortable environment, your dog may have an accident in the building. Always have something on you. I always bring, now I bring the rescue wipes. If my dog has an accident, I want to clean up after my dog. As you don't want the show host to be constantly having to say, please clean up after your dogs. It's your responsibility. So take the necessary things that you need to clean up after your dog. Poop bags, whether it's Lysol wipes, paper towels, always a must. 99% of the time, I just have paper towels sitting out just so everybody can use them. Lysol wipes sitting out so everybody can use them. Another thing I highly, highly, highly suggest is you should never, if you're traveling with your dog, you should never leave home without alcohol and lemon juice. Major. A lot of people don't know what that's for. Alcohol, you're going to put on the dog's body. If your dog would have an anxiety attack, overheat, or something of that nature, you're going to want to have that alcohol. I use the menthol just because they say it cools faster. The lemon juice, you want to, give them a squirt, because when your dog starts to really pant, all that saliva collects in their throat. You squirt that lemon juice in there and it breaks it up. That's very, 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 never, ever do I travel with a dog in my car without those two items. Another thing I recommend, hand sanitizer for yourself. You're going to be, if you're like me, you're going to be slobbering and kissing and hugging on everybody's dog. So you're going to need hand sanitizer. Maybe Hannah knows some things to bring. Hannah always brings a garbage bag.
Yeah.
And
it saves a lot of footsteps,
Yeah.
Constantly.
Sometimes we can't find a garbage can.
But just to catch up, Hannah, we were talking about, the first time we went to a show, I think we showed up with the wrong lead and a dog, and that was about it. To today, we have like a half a van full of stuff, and depending on the event is what we pull out of it, So we're just kind of talking about the stuff that she takes along with her.
Yeah. Hannah, how would you suggest people prepare for a show?
Well, the things to pack. I'm a little extra.
See, me too. I've got 2 bags and another bag. And
well, it's so funny because I think it was last Nationals. This lady had like a big tear down her stockings, and she was kind of sad about it. And I'm like, well, I have an extra pair.
yeah, see, Hannah as a handler brings stuff for everybody as well. So I've learned what to bring from what Hannah has in her bag. Mm-hmm. She's got the Stickum, she's got the hand sanitizer. She's got stuff to put on a dog's nose. We use Aquaphora for that because a lot of male dogs will get out in the ring and they'll be sniffing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's tricks to the trade, and you learn that. But the more you come to shows, the more you pack.
That's true.
Oh,
The more you
Yeah,
pack.
that's true. Well,
I've even
safety
got a
first,
first aid kit.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you
we
go.
were at a show. We were at where it was Columbus, Georgia, and a man literally was cutting something and cut clear through his hand, and was able to fix himself up with our little first aid kit. So
Right. And a puppy too.
yeah,
Puppy
a
too
puppy got bit.
got bit by an XL just
Yep,
recently.
and we got that first aid kit out. So a
Yeah,
first aid
we
kit,
got
I highly
to.
recommend it. You don't want to have to use it, but if you have it. Now, Hannah, maybe you can explain to people how to prepare your dog for the show, like a couple weeks leading up to the show, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, I start, of course, by their diet and nutrition. So I really pack on the pounds. So I feed them. Usually, I feed my dogs twice a day. Once a day, but then when it comes closer to the show, I feed them twice a day. So they don't lose that mass. And then they also, because once you get to the show, or once you start traveling, they don't really want to eat anymore. They get very picky. And then if they're skinny, you're in panic mode because you're like, what am I going to feed them? And then you end up feeding them cheeseburgers or pizza.
Cheeseburgers. I love a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing, on the road, that's what they look forward to.
Right.
Because they
Yeah,
don't eat.
for dogs sometimes, being on the road too, they look forward. Those are some of the things they look forward to is just eating cheeseburgers and things that they don't usually get at home.
Yeah, and then you have to watch because don't feed them French fries the night before the show.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hannah will catch you.
Uh,
Hannah will catch you.
So one of Dina's dogs was in the ring, and I'm like, she's not baiting, Dina. I don't know what's wrong with her. And then she starts gagging. She's like, I didn't feed her. I promise I didn't feed her. And she starts gagging, and all of a sudden, here comes a fry.
She said, Dina, that's a full French fry. I said, that's from yesterday. I didn't feed her this morning. That's from yesterday.
but
she wasn't lying. She didn't feed her.
That is a good thing to note that your dog will probably not eat on the road.
Yes.
So that's good advice to feed them well.
And don't panic when they don't eat, because I know the first couple times I was like super panicked. I was like, oh my gosh, they're not eating. Just as long as they're drinking, you want to make sure they're drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, that you're taking that dog out of its environment.
Mm-hmm.
So expect the unexpected, I guess you could say. They're going to eat, their belly's liable to get upset. I think a good way to prepare dogs that are getting ready to travel that really haven't traveled before is, just like put them in a car a couple times a week, take them for a drive, make sure that they're not going to have an anxiety attack in the car.
Yeah.
You're halfway to the show. Last thing you want to do is be looking for an emergency vet.
Mm-hmm.
So make that a comfortable transition for the dog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people think about that. They think I'm going to throw the dog in the car and away we're going to go, and it's not that way.
Yeah. You have to find out all the quirks, and that's usually why, like right now, I have a dog with me that I've had for about a month. So I've been trying to figure out his quirks and what works for him. I've brought him in the car, I've brought him to class. So these are all the things I do that lead up to the show that kind of tell me, okay, well, I need to adjust something here. And that time period before the show, you can kind of gauge how the dog is going to act when they travel. If you do need to give him something to relax, or even just, I know there's other things that are natural or homeopathic that you can use. For some people don't want to give them trazodone, or they don't want to give them CBD or things like that. There are like even scents. What is that? The aromatherapy. Lavender, those things. There are some of the things that you can spray on the dog that they have on the market. I actually learned that from Kiara. Those sprays that she uses, which help calm the dog down. So those are all things, some dogs aren't as anxious, but they do start to pant a little bit, and they don't need all that extra stuff. You just have to kind of make sure that you're giving the dog what's best for it.
Yeah. And I think like if you do it just locally,
Mhm.
prepare the dog for the trip. I mean, that's what
Mhm.
I've always done.
Yeah.
I'll even put the dogs in the car, just take them to Tractor Supply, get them
Mhm.
out of the car, walk them around Tractor Supply. We've done it at Home Depot
Mhm.
because, I mean, just think about yourself, how you feel when you're put into a brand new position.
Mhm.
And so you got to look at the dog that way. And
Yeah.
like, they're just like a child, you're taking the child out of its environment, putting it in a completely new environment.
Mhm.
So I think it's something you prepare, and you'll see less issues when you're prepared for the heavy panting or,
Yeah.
things like that.
And then you're like, is it turning blue? You have to, is their tongue
Yeah,
turning blue back
panic,
there? Oh, it's
panic.
not. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we learned
Yeah.
early on that, a couple of ours are just panters. There's nothing wrong with them. They'll put on a pant for the first 15 minutes of the trip, and then they're asleep for the next 10.
Yeah.
But we had to learn that here locally.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just
'Cause
think in every aspect of it, if you put yourself in that dog's position,
Mhm.
like I look at like every time I put 7 Up on a stage, I think about how I feel when I'm speaking publicly.
Mhm.
So I want to do everything to keep him comfortable.
Right.
So, I mean, he's doing this for us, or all dogs are doing this for you. Some dogs
Yeah.
love it, some don't.
Do you
Some
picture
don't.
everyone in the crowd naked?
No,
Does that even work?
I don't know. I've never done that, but
It would take too much concentration for me to be like, imagine all that. It's too busy.
Yeah, that's just too much work in my brain.
So the first time we
Get
took
my words out.
Ice Age, because we literally brought Ice Age home, or Ice Age came here, and only time he had really been in a car was to the vet. And we immediately put him on a how many hour trip? 8.
well, no, I drove him 2 weeks back and forth to the shop, and he would pant for a little bit, but then he would quit. He just lays down.
Mhm.
But he's one of our panters.
Right.
And it's not because he's excited about anything. It's just we had to get accustomed to what helped him through that.
So we're on the road for like the first hour, and he's panting like a wild man. And I'm like, are we going to have to medicate this dog? Is he freaking out? But, it turns out he was fine. It was just something he had to get used to. He eventually cooled out. But there are dogs that really do have issues. And, you had mentioned Trazodone, and that's something you can get from your vet to help with the anxiety of traveling.
Mhm. Or CBD.
Typically, you may only have to do that a couple times, and then the dog kind of gets acclimated to traveling after that, and then you don't have to, because it doesn't last forever. It wears off.
You just have to be sure that prescription's for that dog and that weight.
Yeah. Make sure.
You really, I mean, it's a medication that's going to relax the dog, so you can't be given like 7 size medicine to a Frenchie. You know what I mean? You can't just distribute that.
It's gonna knock him out.
No.
Are you gonna wake up? Are you gonna wake up?
Unconscious for a couple days. Yeah, I think you just ask your vet.
Another thing I'll throw at both of you can answer is how often while you're on the road do you stop to let your dog use the bathroom?
Go ahead, Hannah.
Well, I mean, I have a stopper that drives me, so usually every time he stops, it's potty break. Maybe 2-3 hours, probably.
Roger used to stop like every hour.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I just timed it with your need to pee. So.
I'm like, Roger, they don't pee that much at home. What makes you think they need to pee that much on the road?
Yeah.
Every hour we must stop and let the dog go pee. And I'm like, they're sound asleep. Why? They don't pee that much at home. So, I mean, just as much as they do at home, The other thing I do recommend is when traveling, make sure you have your lemon juice and alcohol in arm's reach. Because you don't know how fast you're going to need it.
Yeah.
It could come on that fast.
Sam said it's 8 hours.
Every hour is good.
Oh no, Sam will say, roll
UTI
down the
much?
window, let the farts go out. It's all good. Roll it back up. Like, oh my gosh, gotta let the gas out, he said.
We do gotta let the gas out. We
Yeah.
can't faint on the way there. It wouldn't be any good.
Right, absolutely. I was trying to think of other things that people would need. Hannah, I said definitely a kennel, the fans, a jug of
Fans?
water.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, another thing is treats that your dog enjoys.
Mm-hmm.
Because number one, if you're handing your dog off to a handler, they may not know what treats your dog enjoys.
Mm-hmm.
So always bring treats that your dog enjoys to bait them with, and don't feed the dog prior the day of the show.
Yeah. I mean,
Hannah,
you can feed them. You can feed them the night before, but and then you can feed them after the show. But typically, I like to not feed them the day of the show.
Yeah, and the reason being because you want them to bait in the ring.
Yeah.
And
Unless,
that does make sense.
they're
If it's a baiter dog.
Right. It's a baiter dog. You have some dogs that are, ball driven, so that wouldn't even matter,
Right.
Ball.
And,
So I always have different things.
Always, now I'm going to say this, but always potty your dog during the show, right before your dog goes in. And I know it don't work for everybody because 7, he could pee, and 5 minutes later he'll go right in the ring and pee. Matter of fact, I joined the maintenance crew at a couple shows. But if your dog does have an accident in the ring, clean it up.
Yeah.
Be respectful of other dogs.
Please clean it up.
Yes. Be respectful of other dogs. Show hosts, keep the show rolling. Very important. Very important. I only speak from experience.
Well, going back to having lemon juice and alcohol and all that stuff in the van and making sure your dog isn't anxious. I've had dogs that they weren't anxious at all. They're not anxiety-ridden dogs, and they travel fine. And all of a sudden, the fifth journey we've been on, all of a sudden they're panting like crazy and they're anxious. So you never know. You might think that one dog is okay, and then you're like, okay, well they're good. I'm not going to bring all this stuff. Just have it on hand. It's just much better. Yeah, and I figured out why he did that was because he was put in a kennel right next to a female that was coming into heat.
Yes.
Yes. So lucky thing I had stuff, but he was going crazy.
Yeah,
and the owner didn't tell me, of course.
I always see, and all show hosts tell you, don't bring a female in heat. But I don't. I don't think people understand. And I know these titles mean everything. But if you bring a female that's in heat and subject them to all that bacteria, you're opening yourself up for a big problem. That dog could get pyo, anything. Like, I think there's bigger reasons behind the in heatness besides driving every stud in the ring crazy. But for your dog's protection, you should not bring in heat females. There'll be another show, and I know it's a pain. When you have female eyes, a pain. You're all hopped up together. Show, poof, we're bleeding.
Yeah. Then they could get bacteria and all kinds of stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean,
you
hear this pyo, and just take care of what's important. That female is going to be more important. If you miss this breeding or whatever, it's more important to take care of that female that's in heat.
A lot of males will act out of character, and you won't even understand why, because you're male and another male's in the ring, and there's a female in there, and she's in heat, getting ready to come into heat, and these boys will be on edge because.
Yeah, and 7 is the worst. If there is a female in heat in 20 miles, he knows it, and he'll act a fool. And I always know, and I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on here? I know what's going on here. But I mean, the show hosts are doing it for your protection as well as others' protection as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think even if the building is always cool, we still always bring the fans, but there's always an event where the air conditioner just can't hold up with the amount of people that show up, and
Yeah.
those fans are needed, like desperately needed. So,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we have some Craftsman ones, and Hannah, I think yours are, what are they? The green ones, what are they?
Ryobi's.
Ryobi's.
Yeah.
The fans themselves are pretty cheap, right? I think the fan's
Yeah.
like $15. It's like the battery that's 50.
Yeah.
It's expensive, yeah. I think the one that I use for traveling on the plane is the clip-on one. It's a smaller one. It's actually really nice.
Mhm.
And that one works great, and it's like $26. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a small one that I took on plane. You should see the way people look at me. I whip out this little fan, set it down on the floor because before a plane takes off, it's not
gets
cool
hot.
in there.
Yeah.
It gets hot. It gets muggy. So if you
Mhm.
have that little fan down on the floor with your dog,
Mercy
always put the
mentioned-
dog first. You're putting the dog in uncomfortable.
That one Virginia show, that was bad.
Oh gosh.
Even Dave actually bought ice
Fan.
and drinks and huge fan.
Yeah,
It was bad.
I do remember that. I remember that. Even I was hot, and I'm never hot.
Oh yeah. We've been in extremes. So we've been in extremes with these shows. We've been in close to 0-degree weather in Georgia, and in Virginia, very, very hot.
Shreveport too. Remember Shreveport? We about died.
Mm-hmm.
No
Shreveport
walls.
was so cold.
Yeah.
I was like, that was during COVID where we had to have him partially outside.
Yeah, and we turned green.
Goodness.
We turned green
Yes.
because all of the shavings were, I don't know, it had a green dye on it.
Yeah.
Yep. It was great for accidents, though.
Yeah.
I remember TK had to give me a blanket. I was like, oh my gosh.
It was cold. Yeah.
But
that
you know
Georgia
what?
show was the outside, right? Because it was just under the canopy.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great venue. Is
Mhm.
As long as the weather's nice.
But when you stop and think about all the memories that we've created, people from all different walks of life,
Mhm.
think about the memories we have.
We get through it, and then we get to live to tell the stories later.
I mean, just like new people coming onto this, I hope that they don't take what the show world is off Facebook
Mhm.
because it's so much more.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It is so much more. It is so much more. Like I don't know.
Just come to the show and hang out with us.
Yeah, our booth's
We'll make it fun.
Well, let me tell you what she'll do. She'll get you on a scooter when it's 2 degrees. Make you freeze to death. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so cold. But it was such a good memory.
Yeah.
These shows,
the trooper.
what these show hosts go through to, number one, put on a show. What the judges go through to judge a show. And then the memories that we get to make from that show. And you get to do it with your dogs.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for me.
Yeah.
A win-win.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for me?
Well, they're agreeing with you on many subjects, including the Georgia wind tunnel.
Oh, yeah. Oof. Oof.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need a fan for the dog, and sometimes you need a heater for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, you never need a heater for a dog. They're good.
No, for you, though. I miss the buddy.
I know I wanted to go back to the question of what I have in my handler's bag, I guess. That's kind of what you were driving at, right?
Yes.
So I do have a couple of grooming shears. I have one that, just the regular shears. And then I also have it's the shears that kind of blend everything together. So blending shears, basically. So I have that. I have the razor for the whiskers, so touch up. I do have chalk. So different colors of chalk, specific brands that I prefer. And then I do have a lead. And the leads that I bring, there are two types. There's a snap lead, and then there's the, what is it called? I can't think of it right now, but it's the one that slides. It's slip lead. That's it.
Slip lead, yeah.
Yeah, slip lead. So I have at least 2 types. Multiples of them, but those are the 2 types that I bring. And then I bring a ball, and then I bring like 5 different types of treats. So just in case I got you covered or not, you know.
Yep.
If you forgot to bring treats for your dog, I try different things, you know.
Now, when you
They
said
do get tired of it.
the shaver, what do they call that? It's actually for horses.
Yes.
But what's
yeah.
it called? I can't
The
remember.
horse
the name.
razor.
A whisker trimmer or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Specific name, but so a lot of people will trim off their dog's whiskers to be in the
Mhm.
show. Is that just for the looks, or is there a
Mhm.
purpose behind it?
No, there's no purpose. It's really aesthetic. So it's grooming. It's part of grooming. Yeah.
It
And
gives
then,
the face a cleaner appearance.
Mhm. It's really for grooming, and because you want to give your dog the best chance to win. And I mean, whether it's grooming, whether it's conditioning, whether it's just making sure that the dog is just as prepared as it can be. You know.
Right,
That
absolutely.
makes an impression on the judge on a subconscious level, right?
Mhm.
It's not a factor that he would think of as in his head, whether he would give the dog the award because it was clean. But as he approaches the
Right.
dog and it's shaved and it's well taken care of, on a subconscious level, he's acknowledging, or she is acknowledging, the fact that this dog is very clean.
Right, and it shows that you care, right, about the appearance of the dog. Like dogs that are clean, I hate taking dogs in the ring that are dirty. I just can't, you know.
Right.
I don't think I ever really have. I think maybe one or 2 times where the person just kind of handed off. Oh, he accidentally peed in. Oh my god, you know. But I just don't want the judges to be in the situation where they have to touch poo or pee on the dog, you know.
Yeah.
So
Now,
that's
do
one
they
of my
still
pet peeves.
They still make the sticky spray
They do,
stuff?
yeah.
They still
Well,
make
the brand that I like, they don't.
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
found
we
another
search
one,
everywhere.
but the only thing is I have to let it dry a little bit before I put their foot down. Yeah, so I spray it. So, because a lot of these places are like the cement is very slippery, you know, and you want your dog to stack right, so you have to put the sticky spray on.
And have good traction while running around
Mhm.
the ring.
Mhm.
Because you might be
Yeah.
asked to run that dog around the ring multiple times.
Right, and then a spray bottle, you know, spray bottles are good.
Yes.
Keep the dog cool. Yeah. I've also seen some handlers, they put a towel ringside. I just don't, because there's so many people walking around, especially at a big show like this. It's hard to, but they wet a towel and they have the dog stand on it. It cools them down, and also kind of gives them a little bit of traction too. Yeah.
And they also have cooling pads that can go
Cooling
in.
pads that you can put on top of the dog, you know.
Right. Now,
gel,
this venue, they
gel.
generally, it stays really cool.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. Jacksonville's really nice venue.
So it's nice when people are show hosts who also are familiar with showing the dog.
Mhm.
You know, you see some differences in the way things are set up. The building stays cooler. The flow goes a little faster because they've been in that position.
Mhm.
You know, they know how to keep a show running. I saw where they said, I believe it's show 3, the champions and grand champions will go first.
Mhm.
What, you know, I like that they do things different. It's like they've taken every thought process and just put it to work.
Yeah.
You know, so I have to say, if you are going to go to a show for the first time, this is a good show to go to. I mean, they're going to have everything. They have, you know, all dogs in the ring. They have a stack off. They're doing a Murrow stack off. So they're putting all their eggs in the basket.
Mhm.
And doing it right. I mean, their hardware, they've posted their hardware online. It looks outstanding.
Mhm.
The junior handler is getting
beautiful.
Did you see the junior handler award?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I mean,
They go above and beyond.
They really do.
Yeah.
They do. And it's the pride in it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They know what it's like to go to a show, and they put everything into this show.
Mm-hmm.
When you do one show a year like this, it shows.
Yeah.
You know, you care. So I think it's exciting. I mean, I go to a lot of nice shows, but this show always stands out to me.
Michael mentioned the air conditioning cooler. I've looked at those and I thought about it because you can like create piping and run over your dogs and put like the piping down on top of their kennels, and
Mm-hmm.
basically it's just a cooler full of ice and then the air blows across the ice. And I've been curious about that. Definitely been curious about that.
Hannah, didn't we see somebody who had something like that?
I think so. It was kind of interesting.
I can't
I think
remember who
so.
had that.
I think if anything positive come from the 20K is that I think it put the people in the mind of we need to offer some cash prizes to these people. You know what I mean? Because we're
Mm-hmm.
seeing that more and more now. And Jacksonville's a
Yeah.
good example. And it's not just stack off where you win money in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You know, it's show dogs too, ring dogs.
Right, absolutely. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is expensive. Don't let anybody kid you and say it's not expensive, because it is
Mm-hmm.
very expensive. But it's worth it. You know, I can't think of one other thing that I'd rather spend money doing. We all get to travel the world together with our dogs.
Uh-huh.
What's better?
Right.
I can't think of anything better. And we have show hosts and judges and handlers and sponsors to thank for that. Because what if it got to the point where we didn't have a show to go to?
Yep.
You know, what if they ran the show hosts and the judges off?
Right.
What are we going to do then? You know? So be very respectful of judges and their decisions. You know, if your dog doesn't win, okay, but don't run to face. You know what I mean? Ask the judge.
Mm-hmm.
Ask the judge, and they'll talk to you. But don't be mad when you leave. You know, if you have a question, just be genuinely ask the judge. They'll explain. Hannah, I'm sure you've asked judge. You know, what can I do differently? Or, you know,
I don't ask the judge anymore.
okay, but I mean, I'm sure at one point you did.
I
Well,
do.
you probably knew it already.
Yeah. In my head, I know. But if it is a class that I'm like, okay, because I kind of scope it out. You know, I just look, right? So I
Right.
just look and I'm like, okay, we have a good chance. And if they don't, and I feel that, you know, he had a really good chance, or the dog that I had a good chance, I do ask, which, you know, but I don't do it often.
Right. Well, I'm still in my junior handler stages. So, you know, like,
You know, I
would
want
ask,
to keep the show going. That's why. Because I know
what
I
could
have a lot of
done
clients.
differently?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, they will talk to you. You know
They
what I mean?
will. They will.
They
It's good
will.
to know too. I mean, you shouldn't be deterred from asking the questions if you do have them, you know, in your mind.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, don't go away upset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, if you have a question,
That's the
ask
point.
it.
Don't go away upset. If
Yeah,
you're
'cause you're not
really
gonna win.
upset about something, ask.
Well, I mean, for instance, you know, we've both had dogs that won in this ring, lost in this ring, won in this ring. We've all went to shows where we've lost every show.
Mm-hmm.
But we still had a good time. We had a great
Yeah.
time.
A
We
great
made
time.
great. You can't win everything, and you might not. It may be you. It may not be your dog. Because
Mm-hmm.
only reason I say that is because one time I stacked 7. I told him stack, and I had my feet in front of his feet, so he couldn't. It's my fault, you know. It's my fault. And I didn't know that until I looked back to the video. I was like, well, how in the heck was it going to stack when I'm stepping on his feet? You know, but
Poor 7.
yeah,
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. I just think that we just need to be so appreciative of show hosts and judges,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's a lot. It's a lot to put together a show.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Yeah.
On top of trying to deal with their own dogs and their own lives.
Let me ask you guys this: 2-day show, day 1 is over. What do you leave in your booth? for the next day? Do you pack everything up or do you leave some stuff in
Oh.
your booth?
Oh, I leave stuff.
Well, I asked the host, is this going to get locked? That's the first thing I asked. And then all the bigger stuff like the crates, I usually have extras in the car, so I leave the crates in there. And then just the treats and things like that. But I don't leave my leads. I don't leave the stuff that it's hard for me to replace.
Leads are very expensive.
Yeah.
Leads are very expensive. So if anybody has any Hannah's leads, please bring it back because they are very expensive.
It's okay.
Like I went through this whole phase where I
think I
bought all
know.
these leads. I don't know why. I bought them for Hannah to handle my dog. I'm like, I got you a new lead.
I'm like, oh, it matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. I leave like a jug of water there, or my pail there.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, I've never had anybody mess with anything.
Yeah. I
Every
don't
time
think
it's been a
anybody's
TV
really
show.
taken anything.
No. I think one time Roger lost a water thing, but
The jug of water come up missing. It was empty, but it was the jug. And I was like, where the hell my jug go?
but I don't,
Had
you
a
know,
big sticker
nobody
on it?
intentionally takes anything.
I didn't put my name on it or anything, but
You put his name on it.
It was in my booth, obviously. But
Roger's jug.
whatever.
Roger's jug.
Yeah.
But what else would you say people need to do to prepare for a show, Hannah?
What else?
I mean, that's like, he asked me, and I'm like, you know, I really don't do anything different. I already have my bag packed. I keep it packed. I mean, bath your dogs. Clearly, bath your dogs. Make sure your dog's toenails are done. Make sure the ears are clean. You know, things of that nature. Make sure
grooming.
Yep.
I used to when Zero was showing, I used to make sure I have a chiropractor appointment about, a couple days before.
Also, make sure your dogs are all up to date on all their vaccines.
Vaccines, yes.
Yes. Now, Gretchen brought up another important one, nails.
Oh,
Yeah, I just said nails. Make sure your nails are done and your dog's nails are done.
Well, I mean, if the dog's nails are too long, and you'll notice dogs will kind of lean back a little bit, and they'll look like they're weak in the pasterns because their toenails are too long. They're pressing them into that concrete floor.
Yeah.
And, they look, so keeping them trimmed down, that's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
David Robertson said clean the ears.
Oh, yeah. Clean the ears. Definitely clean the ears.
Brush the teeth.
And I have to say for people,
I like to put shiny spray.
Ah, there you go. See?
Shine spray.
Shiny
Some little
spray.
perfume on the neck.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if your dog goes in feeling good and clean,
Yeah.
it definitely sets a better representation.
Right. And work with your dog a little bit on a lead. Like, you don't have to, if you're bringing your dog to Hannah, like, that dog doesn't have to necessarily be absolutely show trained, but it should be able to walk on a lead at the very least.
Yeah, very least.
I've seen her tune a dog in. Honestly, Hannah be like, have you worked with this dog? And I'll be like, yeah. And I'm like, I didn't work with that dog at all. But I bring it to her, and like, it walked from the van to the building on a lead, and she was able to get him dialed in. You know what I mean? But the reality of it is if you bring your dog and it's not on a lead on a regular basis, it's just extra work for your handler to try to figure out how to get this dog to concentrate. So spend a little time, a couple months before you decide to go to a show, and just work with your dog standing on a lead and not sitting down and walking, and even walking at a gait pace, on a lead. And that saves you a ton of time. But the other thing we were talking about stickum is I've seen lots of times, you guys are getting the dogs moving around the ring. We're trying to get them on their gait. These are bigger, taller dogs. They got longer legs, so they really got to get moving. And when you turn the corner, the dog's back legs slip out from under them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've seen it time and time again, and it doesn't reflect on anything wrong with the dog, but unfortunately, it's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes the floors can be a little slick, so the stickum does help for sure.
Right.
Also, I'd have to say, if
This
you
thing.
attempt to show your dog, what is that?
Fresh and clean.
Fresh and
Yo,
clean.
yeah.
Have you
We love
sprayed that?
that.
It smells amazing on dogs.
We love say you go out and you show your dog and your dog is acting up with you. Don't be afraid to get a handler. Do not, because my dog will act a fool with me because that's what we do. But I can give my same dog to Hannah and acts like a dream with Hannah.
Oh.
And also, when you get a handler, that handler takes pride in having your dog at the end of their lead.
Oh,
You
yeah.
should take pride in letting that handler handle that dog. Because, I mean, honestly, I know Hannah, I've seen thousands of people come up to Hannah and ask Hannah to handle their dog. She is booked. So when we first met Hannah as a handler, I've booth with several handlers. They all have their dog that they handle. You can't go from handler to handler to handler to handler. Your handler takes pride in having your dog at the end of their lead.
Mhm.
They're working on getting your dog champed out.
Mhm.
And I just think it's just like a code of ethics with handlers. Like Seven was solely handled by Hannah. Precious was solely handled by Hannah. We did one time. Hannah had another dog. Precious about killed herself in the ring. But I mean, these handlers, and I only know this because I booth with handlers and I see the pride that they take in handling these dogs.
Yeah.
Your handler takes pride in that. They take care of that dog like it's their dog.
Mhm.
And you can cause controversy when you go from handler to handler to handler to handler.
Ain't
Feelings
that the
get
truth?
hurt. Hearts get broken. So
Yeah.
if your dog is not working well with a handle that you've chosen, and I'm just speaking for myself, I would go to my handler and say, hey, listen, I notice he's acting like a jackass with you. Who do you recommend?
Yeah.
What do you recommend me do? Because, I mean, this is their job on the weekend, is to handle your dog.
Mhm.
And I just think that they need to be given the courtesy of saying, hey, this isn't working out. Who do you think? Or what do you think? Because they're not handling your dog on purpose,
Mhm.
Like I see handlers about every weekend in the pride that they come back and that dog won, or that dog has, stayed in its stack a little bit longer than it did the show before.
Mhm.
I know the handlers that I'm around take extreme pride in handling those
Yeah.
dogs.
And we create a kind of a bond with the dog. So, if it's just common courtesy, I mean,
Yes.
you're definitely welcome to use any handler you want. That's what I always tell everybody. Maybe this dog won't work for me, but at least just a common courtesy of just letting me know, like, hey, I'm gonna get another handler. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I mean, I
that's
have booth
all.
with Hannah now for what? Almost 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. And I see it. I see the pride. You, Pauline, every handler I'm around takes pride. And I take pride in my dog being handled by a certain handler. I'm not a handler. I'm just
Mhm.
not. But I mean, if something were to ever come up, I would it's courtesy. It's courtesy because
Yeah.
that handler is working towards your championship. It's
Mhm.
not their
Right.
championship. It's your championship.
Mhm.
So I think it would keep a lot of drama down amongst handlers if we as owners, considered your feelings, considered
Mhm.
the pride that you have for our dogs.
Mhm.
It's just something that I see, throughout the shows. It's just something to think about. Like, as much as we love our dog, our handler loves our dog that much as well.
Yeah.
Because Seven runs to Hannah and Jim before he even runs to me. Okay, I mean, I know Precious, same thing. I mean, these dogs, I mean, Hannah, you keep dogs for what? 30 days, 6 months. They become your family
I
as
kept
well.
Seven for how long? What, 7 months?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's
Yeah.
our baby.
Yeah, I mean, he comes and gets in bed with them. I mean, he sees their van.
Oh
He's like,
yeah,
I'm going to their
he
van.
slept in our bed. Yep.
And for me, I take a lot of pride in that relationship and that bond.
Mm-hmm.
So if your dog is potentially not working well for your handler in show 1, but then show 2 does great, show 3, maybe it's something we're doing at our booth. Maybe we've given the dog one too many treats. Maybe, you know what I mean? We need to assess ourselves as well. Maybe we walked that
Right.
dog around too long and got it tired. There's a lot of things to think about. Just things that I've taken note of.
Speaking of
just-
search, hold on. We have a question.
Okay.
So somebody asked, why don't they use ramps? And last week we had Dave Wilson on, and that's the weekly question is, why don't they use ramps? And we asked Dave, why don't they use ramps? And he said technically ABKC doesn't have a policy on ramps. I don't care if you use them or not. It's just that some of the show hosts just don't have them, is what they said. So
Where'd Hannah go?
she popped out. She left.
I wonder if her phone died.
I don't know. Was it low? She's
I
back.
don't know.
Boom.
She's back.
She's
Where you
back
go? You left.
for a minute.
I don't know. Yeah.
Somebody
What did he
be
say about
down
Ram?
Oh, I bet JJ's on his.
JJ maybe.
I bet JJ's downloading
His
something.
Roblox, yeah. Something.
Yeah. I see there's somebody asking if 7 will be at the 20K.
No.
No.
What was I say?
May 25th. The indie show. It's an
I'll have to
ABKC
see.
show in Indianapolis. The same place
I'll have
we
to
had
see. As a team, we've decided that everything started for 7 stack off stage wise in Jacksonville. He's went an entire year now, winning anything I could have wanted him to win. So Jacksonville will be his final stack off in the United States. He's done so much. Now he will always be at shows with me. He will always stack off at our booth with me. But in that time of starting Jacksonville, Hannah grand champed him. And he's stacked off for an entire year against some of the most amazing bulls out there. So it makes me sad, but he loves to come to the shows though. So I will always have him at the shows.
He said you just need to put hands on him.
No pressure.
Yeah, no, win or lose. Win or lose. He's accomplished way more than I ever set out for him to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. He did.
So
He made-
we didn't actually get an answer to that question. I don't know if she's bringing him or not, but
I will see. It depends. Right now, I'm actually in real estate school and it's kicking my behind. So
yeah.
it's kicking my behind.
We're having her play hooky, like she's leaving class early.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Randy Jones was like, oh, so a new 20K Stack King? And yes, there probably will be because we are not attending.
Yeah. No, Seven's retiring from the stack off stage in Jacksonville. And like I said, I want it to be Jacksonville because Jacksonville's the very first stack off 7. I even ever put 7 in. He was not going to stack off. Roger was taking Machiavelli over, and me and Josh Yalla were standing there, and I said, should we take 7 over there? And he said yes, and away we went. And in that time, he's become an ABKC Grand Champion. He is the son of the most winning dog in American Bully history.
Right.
So,
reasons. There are reasons. One we won't mention, but the other, is just the fact that, every year there should be a new opportunity for someone else. It gets kind of weird if a dog always wins and you eventually get to the point where you don't want to go because you just know you're fighting for second place.
Well, and we had heard that a lot.
Right.
We had heard that a lot. And like I say, the Jacksonville show has always been near and dear to my heart. Like I love that show. And that's where I want it to be for him. Like I say, that's the first stack off he ever won. And that's where I want him to do his last stack off. Either, win or lose, there's been a lot of amazing dogs come out.
Yeah.
So,
and by retirement, she just means from stacking off.
Yeah, no more stack.
He's not retiring as a
He's still a stud.
No. Oh gosh, no.
He'll still be available to everybody.
We need more 7 babies in the world. So.
Oh gosh, yeah. There are some really nice 7 babies out right now.
Yeah, there absolutely is.
I think we're bringing one, but
one that's going to be a grand soon, probably. Miss
Yeah.
Rennie.
Yeah, she's got good genes.
Yeah, she does.
She got good genes.
Yeah,
she's beautiful.
Yeah,
girl.
After your studs proved his point, that you drove him everywhere. Everyone got to put hands on him. So
yeah,
that point.
I want somebody else to feel what it's like to be handed $20,000.
Oh yeah.
I want somebody else to feel what it's like to be handed that. When they handed me that Jacksonville belt, girl, I was so excited. And 7 has gotten to do that for me for a year.
Mm-hmm. We're going.
And somebody else needs that opportunity. Because it's an amazing feeling. And always, even when the second you step on the stack stage, you've won. You've got the crowd's attention because you're up there. Are you going to class, Hannah?
Yeah, I'm going to go to class with my little guy.
Okay,
right.
Girl.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
No more questions?
Anything else?
No, I think we're good. We appreciate
All
you
right,
stopping in and helping out, though.
Bye, Hannah. I love you.
I'll see you. Bye. Love you.
Be careful.
Right.
Bye, honey.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah, but as far as stack offs are important to me, just like the show ring is. And I'm so glad that more shows are putting them out there. It's nice.
We actually did answer that question. And if you look at last week's show, we had, not last week, but the week before, we had Dave Wilson on. And we asked him specifically, Jack asked him specifically, because Jack asks every week, about ramps. And his statement was he specifically, and ABKC doesn't have a policy against using ramps. It's just that the people that put on the shows, you remember, an ABKC show, other than nationals, is not actually put on by ABKC. It's put on by an organizer. So that person that organizes the show, if they don't have ramps available, then that's why there's no ramps.
Okay.
Han said they are loaded up and headed south.
Han's already on his way.
I thought they were already on the road.
I think they were going to pick him up.
Oh, okay.
They were going to pick him up.
No
Now,
problem.
one thing I will say about stack offs, even if you don't think your dog's a stack off dog, put him up there. Put him up there. People want to see your dog. People want to see your dog.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't matter that. Well, think about it. I'll just give you an example. Me and you were on the stack off stage everywhere we went. We were together. You had 7, I had Machiavelli.
Right.
And Machiavelli got plenty of lock-ins, even not beating 7.
No, and he was like, Mac was always in the top 5, but he was seen. Where at your booth, people come by, they see your dog, and there's something about that stage. When you put that dog up, there's something about the confidence in you, the confidence in your dog. It's good for the dog. It's good for you. 2 years ago, I'd have never done it. But something about Jacksonville, it just like, I don't know. For me, it's kind of like, they have a homecoming.
Right.
Well, Jacksonville's sort of like my homecoming. Like, that show to me is just, that and Allentown. But Jacksonville show, I'm telling you, if you've never been to a dog show, pack up, even if you don't want to take your dog, go to the show. You're going to make friends from all over the world. All over the world.
Ponce Carl they're rolling, they're playing their rap music in their Pacifica. So
all right, that's the only way to roll.
I said you can't have a Pacifica full of American bullies and not play trap music. It's wrong. You have to do it.
That's why I wear my earbuds, because I don't listen to that. Roger does. I don't.
Yeah.
I listen to TikTok.
Han threw up a question. We'll throw this to everybody. Who are you interested in seeing there in Jacksonville? Jacksonville is going to be a turnout, especially on the extreme end of things. Dave came on. He encouraged everybody, bring out your extreme dogs, and he encouraged everybody like bring out your Merles, which we are also starting to do. Do you have
and how nice is it that they're making a platform for your extreme dog? They're literally putting you in the ring, up on a stage. It's not going to be off to the corner or anything. It's going to be one of the focal points of the show. And I feel like they need to be. There are a lot of dogs that people want to use in their programs.
And micros.
Everything.
Do you have earbuds in?
No.
That's why I can hear myself back feeding.
Oh, you hear yourself?
It's the rules. Get your phone, get your earbuds.
No, I don't got my earbuds in. These shows are a place to go and network with people that become family.
Yeah.
And if I have to say if I had one word of advice, is do not get on Facebook for 2 days. After a show, just don't even pay any attention to Facebook judges, because they don't matter.
Well, what we've learned, and we've seen it played out firsthand today, even, people will post negative shit, and, rightly you as a dog owner will get upset, because these people are singling out your dog. But at the end of the day, you win, right? Because that just drives people to your profile. It drives engagement. People are going to come and see the pictures of your dog. They're going to want to see your dog. Okay, put your headphones on.
Yeah.
They're going to want to see your dog. It's driving me nuts. I can hear myself.
Okay, I'll go get it.
Yes, please. So no, don't even worry about that shit. Bring your dogs out. I really want to see the extreme dogs more and more. I want to see the Merle show up. Who cares if you don't get in the ring, right? Let's bring the people out. Let's bring the community out. Let's get the community at shows again. Everybody there, and to hell with, if your dog is not a show dog, but it's a tool to be used, then bring it. Show everybody the tool that you have and what they can do with your dog.
People like all different kinds of dogs.
Joe Mills, bad publicity is still publicity. That's right. There is no bad publicity.
Not necessarily, but I don't know. I don't have a place for it. Anybody that knows me knows I love every dog. Yeah. I love every. If you had to ask me what dog you're looking forward to seeing, I'm looking forward to seeing all of them. All of them. There's always something and just watching these dogs mature from show to show. Another thing is watching the junior handlers mature from show. I feel like I watched Logan grow up, and now he's like a full-blown man, and it blows my mind.
Right.
I'm like, Logan's a man.
There's still a very good place for the classic in our community, and there actually is a class for the classic in the ring. So definitely bring your dog out. Put it in the show ring.
Absolutely. There is a place for every dog. There is a place for every dog.
Dina's the bully world cheerleader.
I can't help it. I love them all. And you meet in the year that Seven has stacked off, I have stacked off with some of the most amazing owners the most amazing bulls. It's just, I have met so many people,
Right.
from the show ring to the stack stage. You might not have a show dog. You might have a stack dog. You might have a dog that's good in the show ring and in the stack. Just whatever it is, just come out and have a good time.
And the other thing we'll say, if your dog is the one that wins the 20K this year and you want to stack up with 7 afterwards, just for fun, just be like, here's the first 20K stack king, here's the second one. We're totally cool with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think it's fair. Hell, that would be awesome just to have every year get together and stack up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that 7 will never stack off again. He's just not going to be on a stage. Like, I want Jacksonville. Jacksonville's so important to me. Like, I don't know. It's like I say, it's like my homecoming.
Oh, they're coming to the Quebec show, the one that's the 6 shows.
Oh yeah, I want to go to that one in April. Oh no, June. There's one in April and there's one in June.
They're going to the April one.
Yeah.
Wish there was more around Wisconsin. Yeah, well, actually, the whole beyond the Midwest. I mean, there really isn't a whole lot going on.
We travel far
or anything. I think there's a couple. Well, there's one really big one that everyone goes to in California once a year, right?
Yeah.
Purina Farms.
Yep. We always seem to have a litter around Purina Farms.
Yeah, for some reason.
I don't know. It just always seems to have a litter.
Network.
But I would literally plan my litters around Jacksonville. I mean, it's just a very important.
I think that's good, especially if you want your kids to get into junior handlers. Definitely, you'll just let them watch one time and see if you can get to spark that interest. Show hosts are very accommodating to kids. They're very understanding. I would put my kid with my best trained dog, though. It just makes it easier on them. The dog knows what to do. They're just kind of out there with them. And yeah, but there's some learning. Like the judges ask them questions, and it's
I think at a certain age they ask them questions. And honestly, the junior handlers are the future of our program.
Florida, sir. Florida. Looks like there is going to be one in Illinois and Indiana this year. A lot of BRC shows are in the Midwest, so if you've never checked out BRC, you can definitely check them out.
What? Hans needs to get on here, even though he's in the car.
He's remote. He's on the remote.
Well, I'm on my phone. He can get on his phone.
Oh yeah.
Get on here, Han. We can do a breaking live. We can do live.
We hear that a lot. I don't think they necessarily pick specific handlers, but what you have to keep in mind is specific handlers are very picky about the dogs they show.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a reputation of showing winning dogs, and they don't take just any dog. So if they feel like the dog has the opportunity to win, they'll take that dog. So very often, these professional handlers have dogs that are capable of winning. So it makes sense that they have a broad selection. A bunch of people come to them with dogs, and they pick the best of the best to show. So very often, you'll see specific handlers with the best that our community has to offer. So it's not unusual to see, that a particular handler or 2 or 3 always winning.
Oh, absolutely. Plus, those handlers have worked, for months with that dog. They have a bond. They know what makes that dog drive.
Absolutely.
Hannah can make our dogs do things that we can't make them do. I mean, I'd be crazy not to put my dog in her. I've seen handlers. They put their heart and soul into that dog.
Yep, for
I
sure.
mean, we do things at home to prepare them, but that handler just knows what to do.
I think, Joe, there was one in West Virginia ever, I believe, and we went to one down south.
We did.
It was the BRC show. It was down south. So it was a good time.
It was a good time. They actually had a really good turnout. They also had a car show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We never made it out to a car show, but I know they had it.
We had that. There's an event center in Morgantown, and I've always been like, if there ever is a dog show in West Virginia, it's that event center in Morgantown is plenty big enough to handle that. We do have our remote guy. He's in the field reporting on
Oh, in the field, coming in live.
You can't see crap on my camera.
Turn on the little light.
How's things?
Oh, there you are.
We don't need to see your face anyway. We know what you look like.
You don't need my face.
Do the Jeremiah. Let's just see your forehead.
My forehead.
How's it going so far, boss? How many dogs you got in that car?
Oh man, we are 5 deep, and as far as the 4-legged variety, and we are 4 deep as far as the 2-legged variety.
Wow. Hats off to the new van.
Yeah, I don't think we can. I don't think we can have a meal because there won't be enough room.
What's your
like we can't get out and go eat.
What's the Asian white boy ratio?
What?
The Asian white boy ratio. What is it?
The Asian white boy ratio. It's 2.5.
2.5.
2.5.
I'm the 0.5.
So they're only going to be 2 hours late for everything they're showing up for.
Yeah, the more you get in the car, the later they're going to be. So.
Oh my goodness.
Hey.
So
why do you think we left a day early?
Now there's going to be.
I was like, damn, they're leaving early as shit.
Okay, when is the meet and greet and where is it?
The meet and greet, Carl, is Friday at 5 p.m. If anybody's interested, it's posted on the ABKC Jacksonville event page.
Right.
And then Carl B on Facebook, he's got it posted on his timeline. So,
there you go.
You remember?
That's always a great time too. And a half a mile, we're turning left.
Turn left on Ohio or something. So they're still in Ohio.
Stephen Park.
Stephen Park.
Yeah.
These are all going live, people.
5 p.m.
So this is the meet and greet where everybody's going to come out.
Yeah.
Hang out before the day of the show. Another good way to network. Introduce yourself to people. Like, don't, we're not shy people. Don't be shy. Just come up to us and talk.
No,
we'll talk to anybody.
Nobody in our group is reserved and shy.
Anybody knows me knows I talk to everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, we're always open to meeting new people and
absolutely.
Talking dogs.
If you forgot something, we probably got it.
That's what the community should be like.
Absolutely.
Don't be scared to walk up to somebody, compliment their dog, talk dogs. I mean, that's how we all grow. It's how we all learn.
What about grope their dog?
That's how we all get better.
Grope
their dog?
That's what I do.
A little inappropriate.
I think you should ask first. Okay, so the location is Sidney J. Geffen Riverwalk Park, 505 Alfred DuPont Place, Jacksonville, 5 p.m.
Everybody come. Everybody come.
Chat.
We're going to leave Thursday night after class, so I might be sleeping on that park bench, but I'll be there.
That's okay. We'll stack dogs around you.
Yeah. Just do whatever you want. If there's dogs there, I ain't going to be sleeping. Anybody knows me. Especially, we're going to have some Cocaine Cowboy. We're going to have some Be Legit up in there.
Yes.
Titan. We got the Lord.
Titan.
The Lord Titan. We got the littlest of Deborahs.
We may take a little extra pride and Be Legit because we help.
I love him too.
Yeah.
I like that boy. I like that boy. I like all dogs, though. Anybody knows me.
Just trying to reach my printer.
So what time are you guys getting in?
Well, if we continue to go and not stop, it'll be 9:30 in the morning. But, we're all going to be zombies when we show up. So,
for sure.
Who knows?
How's the weather so far? No rain?
Ohio weather sucks. So,
oh.
That's majority of the year.
Yes.
But I was looking at the forecast in Jacksonville, and it said it was supposed to be like 70 70 throughout the weekend. So
Uh-oh.
beautiful
Uh-oh.
weather.
You gonna bring your jean shorts out?
Jorts.
You gonna
My
bring your
cut
jorts
off,
out?
my cut off blackwash jean jorts.
That's right. That's right.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
You're not bringing
I
them?
heard Sam's gonna bust out with the new denim Speedo.
Hey, that wouldn't surprise me. Could be
Yeah,
the poster child.
denim Speedos.
Could be the, okay. What are some things that y'all have packed in your van, like that other showgoers would need to know about?
That would need to know about. Okay.
Yeah, like a first-time showgoer.
Well,
you know.
Dog food, water bowls,
Yeah.
dog food bowls, paper towels, wipes, poo bags, plastic bags,
Lemon juice and alcohol.
lemon juice, alcohol, trazodone. What else? Grooming stuff, nail cutters, and
Yeah, so basically we're all packing, the same thing. Do you just keep a bag ready?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Most people are there's some people that are out there like doomsday preppers. They got a grab and go bag, and we're dog day preppers, dog show preppers.
Exactly. I literally have 2 different bags. I'm like, oh, okay, which bag? And they pretty much have the same thing in them, but
Yeah, so I was talking to Samantha. I was like, "Hey, babe, so I'm gonna start packing. You still got the alcohol and lemon juice and treats and all that stuff in your bag?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "The show leads up there too." So I go up there, and I'm literally about to remove all that crap from one bag and put it into another, and I'm like, "That's fucking pointless.
yeah.
I'm just gonna take her bag. Her bag's
There you
already
go.
packed.
Yeah,
Why would I just switch?"
Extra leads in case the lead breaks, leads for in the car so you can get out the rest areas and they can potty, poop bags.
Brand name, where are you? That you just got 11 inches of snow? I'm assuming that must be Canada.
Listen,
Oh,
they're the ones that have that 0 litter.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Wisconsin,
Woo!
11 inches of snow.
No, I don't want no snow.
Oh yeah, it was snowing in Chicago, I think,
Yeah.
today.
Well, I mean,
Josh?
it's Illinois. It's literally the worst.
It's
place.
always snowing in Chicago.
It's awful.
Like when we go to Chicago, I literally have clothes. I forgot to take my hat this last time we were there. I had to buy a hat while I was there in Chinatown.
I love Chicago from like spring to fall. Other than
Well,
that,
isn't it? It's
Dina?
damn near April. When is winter over?
June.
Winter's over in June.
Dina, someone asked, "What is the lemon juice for?"
The lemon juice is for when your dog starts panting really hard. All the saliva builds up in their throat. And when you squirt that lemon juice in there, it allows that to break up and them to get it out of their mouth. A lot of times when your dog starts panting and they have the difficulty breathing, it's because all that saliva is building up in their mouth. And also, know the difference between an anxiety attack and overheating. There is difference. They present a lot of the same, but if it's not extremely hot, then your dog's probably having an anxiety attack. Still want to have the lemon juice ready, but you want to, do everything you can to calm that dog down. You don't really do the same exact things. I would always use the lemon juice though.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yep.
generally what
Alcohol on the
happens.
pads. Put
Armpits.
they always carry that. Yep. Carry some alcohol. Put on the
Alcohol in the
pads.
belly.
Armpits.
One of the
Yep.
absolute
Back
worst
to-
things to do is,
Drink alcohol.
well, no, don't do that. Oof. But when you start submerging your dog down
then-
in like ice cold water or something, you're going to put that dog into shock. You want to try to bring that temperature down as fast as you can, but you don't want to send the dog into shock. You want to, and I know it's
Hey
hard.
guys, we're driving through the very Amish part of Ohio.
Okay.
Are you getting a horse and buggy?
The Pilgrim.
He's about to drop, I think is what
He
he
said
said.
he's going to get a pilgrim. All right, guys, you guys be safe. Text me, let me know that you're safe.
Yeah.
Keep us updated,
I
brother.
will. All right. We will.
You guys be
All
careful.
right. See you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, he let us know. I heard it's a ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit. Like,
Well,
all right.
an important thing is always be respectful to show hosts and judges, because without them, we don't have a place to show our dogs.
Right.
And it's a lot of work. They do a lot of work. I'm not certain what a judge makes, but you think about a judge, they take a whole weekend from their family to come out here and judge our dogs.
Right.
And we need to be very respectful to them. We need to be respectful of the venue that's allowing us to, bring our dogs in. I mean, look, sometimes we have trouble even finding a hotel to stay in with your dogs. So, this venue is opening up and allowing sometimes over hundreds of dogs in. So if we be respectful of the venue's going to welcome us back. And they're going to welcome the show hosts back.
And that
And clean up after
probably
yourself.
patience in the next year as things evolve again. David made it pretty clear that he wanted a lot of the community back at the show, even the people that don't necessarily show. He still wants people to come, show off their dogs, bring out your Merles, bring out your extremes, bring out what you got, and there's going to be some adjustment pains, I feel like, to that. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be mad about it. They just want it to be the show dogs. But I think, I'm going to encourage people to bring out I'm going to bring my Merle. You bring your Merle. We're going to bring them. It doesn't matter if we can show them. We're going to bring them. We're going to walk them around, stack them up, and show everybody.
Regardless as to what we bring, we're still a community of dog lovers. We're still all of the same mind.
Right.
No matter, you might like a standard. I might like a pocket. That doesn't make us any different. That doesn't mean that we should be arguing and fussing over what you like or I like. We should just respect the fact that you like that and I like this.
Right.
I like everything. So let's talk about it. Maybe there's something about that I don't know. Always be willing to learn. I learn something new at every show I go to. Just network with people, talk to people. You learn all kinds of stuff. What they're feeding, what kind of vitamins they're given, how they get their coat so shiny.
Most people are pretty up forward too. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
You tell them.
Well, we want to talk dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what, I could spend days talking about dogs with people.
And Brandon, believe it or not, I talk to a lot of people every day, and I get a ton of people saying, I haven't been interested in the past in showing, but recently I'm thinking about starting to come out. So, yeah, you're definitely not the only one. I know there's a lot of people that have young dogs and they're just waiting for their dogs to get a little older, or, they just haven't considered coming out, and now they're going to start doing it. And I think that's a great thing.
Through shows, you gain so much knowledge. So going to shows is different than what you sit and read every day on Facebook.
No, absolutely.
Shows, I'm telling you, Roger and I, we look forward to shows. Some of our very best friends, live in Chicago, live in Ohio, but these people have become our family. I mean, and without shows, show hosts, judges, we would have never met these people without, our same love for dogs. And they might even have they may be showing Frenchies, and, I love all dogs, but some people have their preference. But regardless, we're all still the same people. We all want to come together for the same reasons. You can't win every weekend. You can't, it's about networking. There have been times, matter of fact, Machiavelli has never been an ABKC show ring.
Never.
But I take him to the shows and people lock him in all the time.
At the show.
All the time.
Yeah.
There is just come. Just come. Even if you stack off here, you stack off at your booth. There's just so much opportunity at a show. It's different than sitting at home on your Facebook or your TikTok or Instagram trying to network with people who are just seeing pictures of your dog. Let people put hands on them. It's a whole different thing. Shows
Maybe,
are amazing.
Joe, maybe not so important for females, but if you have a male that you intend on marketing, showing up, there's no replacement for it. Some of these bigger breeders have been breeding for years. Yeah, they've got a fan base and they can just post a picture and that's good enough. But in
Well, I
reality,
think females are important as well because
no one's going to
they,
look at your female. So
well, no, they're not going to lock in my female, but they're going to see my female and then say I post up a breeding banner. They're going to know that they've put hands on that female and that she's worthy. She's something that they would want a puppy off of. So I feel it's equally important to bring both. I mean, yes, nobody's going to walk in your female, but they're going to see what your program, what you're working towards, what your next generation is potentially going to look like.
right.
So I feel like there's absolutely a place for the males and the females. I generally don't recommend bringing a puppy younger than 6 months old, just because unless they've been really, really exposed to the outside world and other dogs, I feel like, you get into a little bit of stuff there.
Yes, so it's definitely good food. I have to tell you that for sure.
What is it?
Yeah, there's comments on the screen.
I can't see them on my phone. What's it say?
So shows are the best way to network, meet up. Plus, tasty food is normally involved when meeting up with the dog community.
Some of the best. You will try things you've never tried in your life and love them. Yeah, I mean, you meet people from different cultures, different everything. And next thing you know, you're on there messaging them, you're networking together. They got a friend who's looking for a stud, or they've got a friend who's looking for a puppy, or just some advice.
Right.
We've had several people reach out to us while they're, whelping a litter. I had, reach out to Samantha when whelping a litter.
I just don't know a stud owner that I've seen them promote them online. Absolutely. Females promote. I think we probably promoted Precious more than any other female I've seen promoted. Like,
yeah,
she went to all kind of shows. She was always in the ring. We really put her out there.
There's a lot of really nice females right now too. I mean, there's a lot of really nice dogs that people have sitting at home that need to get them out there.
Appreciate it.
Hannah brought out a dog last week that was somebody's couch dog, champed out for a show.
Right.
That dog came off that bus. I said, where'd that come from? I'd never seen this dog before, but just somebody who had never been to a show. And he was beautiful. Beautiful.
All right, folks. Well, it's 8:30, but I think we're going to knock it off a little early. We've got to get ready.
Do we have any more questions before?
We don't. We are ourselves getting ready to go to Jacksonville. We'll be leaving tomorrow night, right? Late tomorrow night, about 9 p.m. We prefer to drive in the evening. We appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys.
Well, we can't leave till I get out of class.
Yeah. So next week we will have a guest. We were so big. I was literally doing things and I was like, shit, we got to go do the show. So we really didn't have a lot of planning for this week's show, but it worked out good. I can always tap in with Hannah and Dina and we can get some conversations going with you guys and answer your questions. So by all means, we appreciate it. And check us out next week. If you haven't,
see you all in Jacksonville.
If you haven't yet, hit us up on YouTube. We're on YouTube. We're on the Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast. Hit us up, give us a subscribe. We'd appreciate it. And we will see you next week with our guest, which may or may not be Nomi Malone there.
Nomi Malone.
Appreciate it, Tiffany. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Later.
Bye. Thank you.